Some X-Men cerebro stuff is going on at Neuralink. Neuralink is a company founded in 2016 by Elon Musk, and lately some of the recently uploaded videos on YouTube about a monkey playing ping pong by Mind, yeah, you heard me right, Mind, got widely picked up in the media. So what's going on at this company based out of Pioneer Building in San Francisco? Elon Musk cannot be into this without a plan for commercial success. That's what I think. And the total addressable market for a device of this nature is certainly not confined to the paralyzed patients in the generic public pool needing a way to interact with the external world. As noble as it may be, the commercial viability of that is not so promising. So what is he up to? Is it all that revolutionizing? Is it a mind control device? What are the challenges for mass adoption? What are the potentials? Today, we are diving into an age-old pursuit of the computing industry to achieve the perfect man-machine interface. Welcome to Tech Byte. So what is involved in building a BCI?
Electrodes connect Charles to the transmitter on the roof. When he picks up a mutant, his brain sends a signal through a relay, and then the coordinates of their location are printed out.
What Elon Musk's team at Neuralink has been trying to build is called a brain-computer interface, BCI in short. But that actually on its own, not a new thing. Actually, it has been a long-standing pursuit of the computing industry. In fact, it is a multidisciplinary effort, involvement of academics and professionals ranging from material scientists, electrical engineers, software engineers, neurosurgeons, to clinical researchers and many more. This branch of study within the computing industry falls into even much broader field of study called human-computer interactions, HCI. BCI is one of the many interfaces. Your computer monitor is one of them, or the mouse you use to move the cursor on the screen is yet another. So why BCI is somewhat considered the pinnacle of HCI? Well, the reasons are many. One of them is instantaneous communication with the paired devices. For example, when using a touchpad, you need to move your hand and then tap at a specific location on the screen with your finger. That is a lot of motor neuronal coordinations to get that done and get it right. That in turn translates into lag. For some applications, that is way too slow. Think of a fighter pilot trying to zero in on a target while trying to respond to various alarms going off in the cockpit. Split seconds count. But BCI is going to be even more so relevant when AI, artificial intelligence, becomes mainstream. In the next decade or so, the computing industry and the services depending on it are going to be turned on their head due to the emergence of the AI. We will have a dedicated series on that. If you want to even try to interact with AI at some level, then BCI is perhaps going to be the most intuitive interface to work with, at least for the AI, if not for the human. A BCI platform needs to perform three distinct functions. First one, signal acquisition. This involves employing various means and methods to acquire signals from neural transmissions. The final goal of this is to distinctly acquire the individual signals from each one of the 86 billion or so neurons found in a typical human brain. At this point, this is limited to a very small number of probes. This neuron to probe density is comparable to the pixel resolution on a smartphone screen. The higher, the better. Let's look at the second critical function of a BCI platform, signal transmission. This involves achieving a highly decoupled and efficient means of transmitting collected data, signal data, from the biological system to an externalized processing unit, preferably via wireless means. Achieving a low error rate and high bandwidth is the goal of this function. Signal processing and feature extraction. This is the third one. This is typically carried out in a high processing computing platform, also known as HPC in short, to employ various algorithms to extract information that correlates with actions that the biological system intends to carry out. The information here, also referred to as features, is basically the commands the biological system wants to send to the paired device. This phase often involves some level of initial calibration via a feedback loop. The ultimate goal of a BCI platform in this regard is to eliminate this need for initial calibration and achieving highest correlation coefficiency. Neurons in the brain talk to each other using electrical signals. The presence of electricity also means presence of magnetic fields. Early attempt of capturing these brain magnetic signals can be traced to MIT to year 1968. Modern magnetoencephalography devices, MEG for short, work on the same basis. These machines are used for functional neuroimaging. Often complex statistical and spatial analysis techniques are employed to localize the regions of brain activity. That sort of resolution is not good enough for a BMI. Other methods involve intracranially or extracranially attaching probes or electrodes to be precise to pick up the neural signals. Extracranial probes also suffer signal attenuation issues and noises such as the electrical signals from the face muscle movements. As such, only intracranial probes are considered to be gold standard as of now. However, this may change in the future as sensor sensitivity and other means are discovered. Intracranial probes also fall into two types: those that are attached to the surface of the cortex and those that penetrate into the cortex and can capture neural activities deep inside the brain, and most importantly, at a single neuron level. In other words, they are capable of capturing action potential of a single neuron. The electrodes that existed to this point had few limitations. One of them is their flexibility, and the second one is their density. Neuralink is focusing on eliminating these shortcomings. In one of the scientific papers published by Neuralink, they mentioned the following: we demonstrate the rapid implantation of 96 polymer threads, each thread with 32 electrodes for a total of 3072 electrodes. Now, compare this to a camera on a smartphone. Even if you consider that a single electrode can capture the action potential of more than one neuron, there are 86 billion neurons on a typical human brain. Means we have a long road ahead. We are at a stage like camera phones of early 2000s. Because these microelectrodes are difficult to be inserted into the cortex, Neuralink also have created a robotic electrode inserter. When it comes to signal transmission, early prototypes seem to provide a USB-C port for data transmission that is precariously attached to the heads of lab rats. However, the version used in the recently uploaded YouTube video appears to use wireless channels. Power source for this transmitter is from a rechargeable battery that is also intracranially placed. It is inductively charged without a physical connection. All of this opens up numerous questions. To start with, how safe it is to implant a transmitter with a battery in your brain? There's precedence here, at least for the batteries. Artificial cardiac pacemakers, also known as just pacemakers, work with batteries, and they are placed in the shoulder cavity. So are these electrodes used for one-way or two-way communications? Can someone send a command to the brain? Yes and no. At this point, advancements indicate that you can stimulate neurons, but can this be translated into higher order commands such as memory creations or alterations or thought modification is yet to be seen. That possibility exists in the hands of capable adversary like governments or maybe like an AI. This is like having an open door for invasion into your inner self of yours. That leaves us with the final question: why? Why into making this? The paper published by Neuralink says this: brain-machine interfaces, BMIs, hold promise for the restoration of sensory and motor function and the treatment of neurological disorders. But I think it goes way more than that. And these are only limited by my imaginations and perhaps not yours. In real-life terms, the applications of BMI range widely. Gain of function is my favorite. Think about attaching an extra hard drive to your brain to increase your memory capacity. Think about uploading an expertise such as karate into your brain. Or think about the ability to control an exoskeleton and their applications in military and industries. Think about the implications of control of prosthetics and their implications to disabled soldiers. It would make it difficult for an adversarial country to nullify the human potential in the event of a war. Neuralink calls their BMI as BMI platform. That speaks volumes. If Neuralink were to become a platform that provides an operating system of some sort that works on the underlying BMI hardware, you can imagine a thriving ecosystem such as the ones of Apple's App Store, full of third-party service providers and peripheral device makers blossoming up. What is the catch here? Timing. Many technologies arrive too early or too late. Take Google's Glass, for example. At this point, my gut feeling is that current social dynamics are not favorable for any mass adoption. However, the military is a different domain, where risk profiles are assessed differently. That market size is in many billions and holds promise. And that's why I think Elon Musk is actively into this at this point of time. Hope you were able to gain some unique insight into this technology. If you have liked it, please click on subscribe and leave some comments about this topic or any other topic you want us to cover in the future. Thanks for joining us today. Ta-ta.